Yo, good evening, beautiful people, North Omaha, and everybody tuning in. Yeah, we got some special people on here today. You see it, future leaders in action. That's right, future leaders in action, and we about to bring them on right after this short
Determination to change the nation, I'm manifesting the truth. Back in the booth to give you the messages that's been channeling right through me. No, I'm not Jesus, although my spirit is great. I'm eating my food without a plate, escaping this place through my meditations. New life begun when I reloaded the gun and realized where I was from was not too far from the sun. Like somewhere close by the moon. Now I'm connected like Zoom. On walks of life that ever lived, call me like out of the blue. So I just pass it to you, right through your speakers with clues. And if you choose to free your mind, then you will have all the tools. But I can't make you take it and shake it and mentally break yourself out. Cause freeing your mind without a doubt is something you have to try out. But once you see the light, your might, and all the power you've had, then you have reached the fifth dimension and you can brighten your path. But others who choose to follow the red pills, it's harder to swallow. Or you can wallow in your sorrows, feeling all empty and hollow. The only way you'll see the truth is if it's starting with you. So please stop lying to yourself, start being truthful to you. The only way you'll see the truth is if it's starting with you. So please stop lying to yourself, start being truthful to you, to you.
Yo, yeah, without no hesitation, we gonna pop them right on in. Yeah, we got some young people for y'all today. I know people be like, don't say young, don't say old. So we just call them people. And I call them future leaders in action. So, say what you want, but I believe in the future generation. I do believe in my elders because they the ones who teach me the stuff. Of course, I got my mama over here on this side always smiling. So yeah, we're gonna pop them in one at a time. There go brother Peyton.
Hello.
What's up, bro?
What's up?
Jaden. There go brother Daric, looking like the Taliban. And then my sister Myriyah and Michaela. She gonna turn her camera on hopefully for us today. But yeah, that's who we got on the show today. I know it's been a minute since I've been on this live and on this show. Thanks for the people that's already tuned in. Yeah, I've been we just been real busy, handling things in the community. And I ain't had a chance to jump on here. I knew I used to call this Sunday sermons with Sherman, but we pop in on whatever day we want to. So yeah, today I decided to bring on some young people in the community because I definitely want the community to know we got people working behind the scenes, in the scene, in front of the scene, on top of the scene, and under the scenes. And so yeah, we're gonna start with look like brother Peyton is the first one, so I'll let him go introduce himself.
Hello, everyone. My name is Peyton Zyla. I go by Z. You can call me whatever. I'm an independent community organizer and political strategist. I've been doing community organizing since 2020 when I worked with Pro-Black, the Progressive Black-Led Ally Coalition, and RAP, the Revolutionary Action Party. Since then, I've worked on campaigns like Jonathan Lathan back in 2021, Clarice Dombeck last year, where she won. And then this year in the local election, I worked for Michaela and Jonathan Rentiera.
Whoop, whoop. That's right. That's right. We got brother Jaden Perkins. Brother Jaden, go ahead and introduce yourself for the 100,000th time. You done been on here before, but still give you that chance.
Good evening, folks. My name is Jaden Perkins. I am a policy analyst, community organizer, and political consultant. I've been involved in the Omaha community for over the last 10 years, whether it's building power on a political campaign or ballot initiative process, or just, raising political consciousness by contributing towards political education in our community. For me, it's always about taking back our community, building power, and ensuring prosperity by any means necessary. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm excited for this conversation.
Yes, sir. And if y'all remember, I had Jaden on the show before when he was here with some people from out of town. We had a bunch of young people on here. Brother Jaden was there. So yeah, now we're gonna go to Michaela Atkins. Michaela.
Hi, y'all. My name is Michaela. I'm sorry about my camera. The Wi-Fi is doing what Wi-Fi does, but hopefully it'll improve as the night goes on. But my name is Michaela. I'm a community organizer. I've been organizing probably for anywhere around like 5 years. It started off really just being like reproductive justice, but my work has always been youth focused. So in 2024, August of 2024, my co-founder and I founded Youth Elect, and it's really just a group, and really trying to be like a third space for young people to be able to come get involved, figure out how to get involved, and just be like a third space for young folks to be. So, and to get people involved on the local level. Um, so yeah, I do a lot. I also am the senior North Omaha community organizer for Heartland Worker Center as well. So I wear a couple different hats.
Okay. Hopefully we can see your hats today.
You will, I promise. I hope so.
All right. Okay. All right. The next person is Miss Myriyah. Myriyah.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Myriyah Johnson. I'm a community organizer. I also do marketing and public relations. I'm originally from Pueblo, Colorado, so shout out to Pueblo and the 719. But I came here in 2019 to attend Creighton University, where I was the president of our Black Student Union and loved being on campus and loved Omaha so much that I just stayed here. And I've been here for about 7 years now. I'm not new to community organizing. My very first job at 17 was for a political campaign, and I've been in that realm ever since. And I also have a lot of experience in the reproductive justice space. And now I'm at IB Black Girl doing community organizing over there. So thanks for having me, and I'm excited to talk to everybody today.
For sure, for sure. And then last but not least, we got Brother Daric. All right, brother, go ahead, do your thing.
Hey everybody, my name is Daric Hurd. Most of the community knows me as Replenish. I've been a musician for most of my life, and my involvement with the community for most of my involvement that I've had within the community has been through music. So, that usually was like raising money when Nebraska had a big flood or things of that nature. When things go wrong, I usually try to use my music to help people. That's been changing a little bit as I've gotten older. I am a community mortgage lender at a local financial institution, which involves promoting home ownership in North Omaha. And then I also do anything that I can to help the community as a father and as a community member.
That's what's up. All right. All right. So that's what we got here today. Yeah, yeah. What was that? A dog? Oh
Yeah,
Lord. Is
I
that
thought
your
I
dog,
saw it.
Mariah? Oh,
he has no
oh, there
boundaries.
goes Michaela. There goes Michaela. Whoop, whoop. There she goes. She done popped in. Okay, yeah. So we're gonna jump right on in. So one of the topics that I wanted to talk about today is development in North Omaha. I know a lot of the times people talk about how do you keep people from leaving. So and it's really always usually about how do we keep young, smart people from leaving, because we definitely need y'all brains and stuff to develop this town and help come up with some ideas. So I have a two-part question. One is, what do you think needs to be done to keep you here? And for two, do you feel like your voice is being heard when we talk about development in those spaces? Starting with you, Brother Peyton.
All right, hold up. Like a two-part question took me off for a second. First part, what would keep me here, right?
Yeah, what would keep you here?
Sorry, you're
Bro?
breaking up a little bit on my end. It might be my Wi-Fi, but got you. So
Am I?
for
Okay, what
me,
would keep you here? Yeah.
my experience living in Omaha, especially as a young adult, has been rough in the sense of like trying to survive and maintain life every single day. In the sense of just like housing security, a good job, you know. And so like, you know, I work customer service jobs when I'm not organizing, and so and it's just not enough. And so I'm looking, you know, there's just not jobs out there that really fit what I'm looking for or will take me because I don't have the qualifications. So I didn't go to college, so I don't have a, you know, degree or anything like that. So I'm just,
Neither
for
do
me, I
I.
say I'm raw dogging life with that. But um, so for me,
Not
when
raw
it
dog.
comes to what would keep me here is affordable housing for one, and more of it, and then also like good paying jobs, like job and like a more diversified job market, should I say, and more opportunities for young folks to take. And so yeah, and then also third spaces. Like I want to be able to like go somewhere and not have to worry about paying. You know, I just want to be able to like chill with people. You know, without having to like worry about like how much money I'm gonna have to spend when I go out to here or something like that. You know, so like
Right.
that that's like a basic question. I mean, a basic answer for me when it comes to what would keep me here. You know, those three things. Um, and the second part. What was the second part of the question again?
Do you feel like you're heard in the spaces where they talk about development, or do you attend any of those spaces where they talk about development? Like
I
they
have a
got that
couple.
what's the thing now? Yeah, the what's that thing, Jaden? I think you was there with us that time. They was talking about the
Master
You
what's
talking
plan?
that
about
thing
We
they talking
Make
about building?
Omaha, or
Yeah, we make Omaha.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think that's it.
I've been to one of those community meetings, and it was interesting to say the least. I mean, it was definitely very interactive, but I just don't know how the information they got that day was used. And because I mean, we were making like collages and stuff like that, and
Yeah,
yeah, so that was kind of different.
very
Not harping
different.
on them or anything like that. It was just different.
Yeah, it was
So,
different.
but like I feel like us youth in general aren't necessarily always heard when it comes to like speaking in spaces that talk about development here in the city. Just because you know, we're not, especially we're not seeing like a lot of like new development that suits us or you know benefits us.
Hmm.
Whether it's housing, whether it's you know public spaces, public transit, stuff like that. You know, we're not seeing the development that we need for an inclusive and robust city that young people want to live in.
Yeah, yeah, I can agree with that. And then you was talking about like telemarketing jobs and stuff like that. You know, they say Omaha is one of the best places for those jobs because they say we talk the most like normal. I guess we ain't got no
Yeah.
accent or nothing like that. I used to do Marriott for a while, so I got tired of
Okay.
it. But yeah, it was all right. Brother Jaden, what do you think need to be done to keep you here, bro? And really, have you ever thought about leaving? Because if you have, I'm gonna get you. Nah, but what? Nah, have you ever thought about leaving? No, for real. Like,
yes, I'm
what
glad you
would keep
asked me
you
that
here?
question. I have definitely thought about leaving, definitely seriously about two times throughout the course of my community organizing career, due to some of the things that Z just said: lack of opportunity, lack of good paying jobs, lack of not feeling like our voices are actually taken seriously, whether it's in the workplace or in like the city level, the county level, in those development processes. Um, I think for me, what needs to be done to keep me here and keep others in Omaha as well is like we need a little bit more diversity when we're talking about development and what the future looks like. I've been to a couple of these meetings, and if I do see young people, it's a lot of white people. So look, we
Yeah,
gotta do something about who's taking up space in these spaces specifically.
yeah, yeah. We definitely don't need them taking up space, especially fat white people, because they take up a lot more space.
That's right.
Y'all didn't know I did stand up too for some years, so we don't be funny on this show. We don't play no games. Uh, hey, Heather and Marlon and Wanda and Sierra, we appreciate y'all, brother Mario. We're gonna go to our next person, Miss Myriyah. All right. So, what keeps you here, or what will keep you here, and what do you think need to be done to keep you here?
So I feel like I have an interesting perspective on this because I moved here within the last 10 years, and I ended up staying here after
Yeah,
college. So when I went to Creighton, we only had like a 2%, less than 2%, 1.98% Black population. And
Lord.
of my peers, a lot of those people were from Omaha, but most of the people were not from Omaha. So Omaha had an opportunity to bring people here and get them to stay here, but they chose not to. And just like personally, like speaking of all the people that graduated with me, the like young Black people who graduated with me, most of them moved away, and if they haven't, they're making plans to. So my thing is, for them, one of the biggest factors was obviously job opportunities, but beyond that, and I think people underestimate the power of having a good nightlife to keep young people in a city. And I there has been a very big racist trend of like every time Black people find a popular spot that we enjoy frequenting here in Omaha, they like ban rap music and are like, no more rap music. So Black people stop coming here. No more R&B. We're gonna just play like like the top 100 and Taylor Swift all night, which is fine. But that's a big reason why I think a lot of young people move away is because there's nothing fun for them to do. Number one, if they a lot most people who are here are constantly traveling to get to something more fun and more lively. And so I think if Omaha had more businesses that cater to people, to our people, and were created by our people, that would be great. Number one. And then number two, I think like with the job thing specifically, like if there's not a lot of spaces to work in alignment with your values or work in alignment with people who look like you. I'm blessed to have a job at IB Black Girl where everybody understands each other. Like I could hop on a Zoom meeting in my bonnet and nobody would say anything, or like my comrades at IBBG, their kids are in the background and nobody cares because that's our culture. But in Omaha, for young Black people and young Black professionals, you're constantly in a space that is just like you're the drop a chocolate syrup in the milk, you know what I mean? And that's not a fun place to be. So I think if there were more diversity in the workplace as well, which I don't know how to solve that, but other than creating more creating more incentives by making Omaha a funner place to be. So
Hmm, that's good. I bet you if I jumped on one of them IB Black Girl videos with a bonnet on, it'd be an issue because I ain't got nothing to hide. I glue it to my head, probably the sides or something. I don't know. Uh, hey, Miss Ford. There go Cameron Ford's mama. Hey, 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 April. Yeah, we had the pleasure to see her talk for the first time when Brother Miyah held that event downtown, and it was very powerful. We love her, we appreciate her, and we 100% support you in your fight for justice for your son. So yeah, we'll go to the next person, Miss Michaela. Yeah, Miss Michaela, what do you think needs to be done to keep you here? And yeah, do you think you're heard in those spaces when they talk about development?
I think I'm gonna answer the second one first, just because it's a little bit of a quicker answer. I second, I think what Z was saying, or maybe it was Jaden. When you're in these spaces, like it might seem and feel like you're being heard, and that they're, taking your feedback and your input. But what are they doing after that? I can't count how many times I've been in a space where they're taking all of our feedback. They want to pick our brain, that phrase, pick our brain. They want to, get all of our ideas. And then there's no effort behind it. There's no follow up. There's no actions behind it. There's no actions leaving there. There's no funding behind it. So there are just so many things
No.
wrong with this, creating a space of wanting to hear individuals' feedback when, they prompt you at the beginning and they're like, we want to gather all your feedback, but then there's no follow up. You specifically ask, what's the follow up, and there's no answer. So that is my response to whether or not we feel heard. And then I
Yeah,
think,
and I think when they talk about picking your brain, there should be a consultant fee if you want to pick my brain. Because if you
hello,
ask me, you want to pick my brain, and you ain't
hello,
giving me money, how about I pick my nose and put a booger on you? How about that?
because they'll
Since you don't
they'll
want to give
take
me
your
no money,
ideas and
okay?
then take credit
Yeah,
for it. And
come
then,
on now.
not that that's right in any way, but at least if you're gonna take my idea and not give me credit for it, at least compensate me for it behind the scenes,
Absolutely, absolutely.
So I think that's, my biggest issue with wanting to have these spaces and have projects like We Make Omaha. Are you, and then another thing too with that is, are you really being inclusive of individuals' voices? Again, what somebody else said earlier, like it's very monotone in the room. It all looks the same. It's all one. There's not a lot of diversity in there. So yeah, so that's how I feel about whether or not, we're heard. As far as retaining individuals, especially young, talented folks of color, Black people in particular. I speak on that because I'm Black and from North Omaha. I think I really think we
That's right.
lack an ecosystem of support. I think that, we might
Mm.
have each other, but there's so many people outside of us that we don't have, and it can become a burden on just having us. And so I think we really lack an ecosystem of support when it comes to young people, young Black people in North Omaha trying to do work, and I might get in trouble for it, but it is what it is. The nonprofit system as well. There are so many instances
Mm.
where us as young people go to work for these nonprofits and we're taken advantage of, and not truly valued at the level that we should be valued at. We're not put into the rooms and the spaces that we should be in. That the quality of work is not equating with the quality of pay or the quality of culture. And so those are where I think my biggest things are, is the nonprofit, but then especially having an ecosystem of support. I think we run into a lot of the times people who say they want to build power and say they want to support young people, but then when the time really comes, they're not there. Or you
Mm.
do so much in partnership with an individual, but you start asking just a few too many questions, or start asking the wrong questions, which are really the right questions, and now you've gone too far. We don't have an authentic, genuine ecosystem of support that is large and wide. And that is something we need to be able to cultivate, specifically in North Omaha, for young people, but for the community, period. But specifically to retain young people. So that's how I
Right.
feel.
Yeah, and I'm glad you said it. And we starting to hear the cycle of what we're dealing with. So I hope the people that's listening, even though you're silently listening, I know some of y'all are not clicked in, but you're paying attention. Hopefully you're listening to what they're saying. And right now, since the young Black people are really not the what they call the minorities again in North Omaha. It went to the Chinese, Asian Americans that's here really saturating North Omaha. And so if you want to keep these group of people here, please pay attention to what they're saying. Okay. All right, brother Daric, it's on you, bro. What do you think needs to be done to retain more young people? And do you feel like your voice is heard in development spaces around here?
Well, as far as helping the young people, we're looking at an issue that stems from slavery and a system that was built not for us. So to retain these people, we need to develop a system that is for us. So that would include, I want to say reparations, but I'll just say aiding in the poverty issue. That may be a simpler
Mm.
way for people to understand. The poverty issue is going to be the number one issue, and because they didn't want us to read books and they hide all this information in these books that they don't want us to read, I would also say education, and not just education with how the system works, but education in our own Black excellence. And when I say Black, I'm talking about that so-called minority, which is actually the majority: Black, red, yellow, and brown.
Mm.
So that's what's going to keep us here, is the attacking that poverty issue and attacking that education, like they say, that education is power. When you study Garveyism, when you study ancient Kemet, and you understand where we come from, and just learning that people want us to be scared of North Omaha, like, oh, don't go to North Omaha, it's the Wild West, people just out here shooting. No, like, I'll see you on Sundays at the cookout. What are you talking about? You go anywhere at night, like anywhere at night. I don't care if you're in the country or anywhere. There's all kinds of serial killers and back roads in the country. So I'm not trying to go to some weird place in Iowa at night.
At
Like,
all.
that's scary. at all. That's way scarier than North Omaha to me. At least when I'm in North Omaha, I'm near people that look like me. I know there's going to be some places close by that I may be familiar with, and there's going to be possibly people just like everyone on this chat that will be looking out for me in the middle of the night if I was in North Omaha. And understanding
Absolutely.
that when we are, just like your saying says, united we stand, divided we fall, right? So
Hmm.
when we what's going to keep us here is fighting against that mentality of, oh, let me get this bread and then go over to West Omaha, let me get this bread, go over to Bellevue, La Vista, and then I made it out. And then now you just black around all these racist people. I'm not saying that everybody's racist in those areas, but what I'm
I know
saying
seasoning on
is,
the food.
yeah, find excellence with your own people is all I'm saying. There's nothing wrong with that. um and then second part to your question, could you repeat that for me one more
But
time?
you do
Oh,
you heard in those spaces where they talk about development and what need to be done in North Omaha? Do you
so
attend those spaces?
I do occasionally, especially with it depends on the capacity that I attend them in. If I attend them in my 9 to 5 capacity with the financial institution, I am a little bit heard in that regard. But usually, when I'm voicing my thoughts, it's not in that capacity. So usually, no, I'm usually not heard. But I will say I'm not heard, right? But when we get a
Mhm.
couple of us together, they ain't got no choice to listen. So when we are together, we are dang sure heard. But when it's just me, no, I'm probably not going to get heard.
Yeah, yeah, and unfortunately, only time we see our value is when we together. Because like when we was together in Africa, what we did, we built stuff that people still don't understand to this day. So our togetherness is our power. I do have a question to go around and just really quick. This is for the political people that's watching. I want you to name me the politicians you've met or have access to right now. Peyton, starting with you. Your mic is muted. Peyton. Z.
My bad, my bad, my bad, my bad. So
Yeah,
you
no,
said
go ahead.
politicians that I have
That you have
access to.
access to right now.
Literally, the only person that I know that I could call up right now or get a text in return would be Clarice Donbeck. For sure. Like
Okay. What about you,
that.
Jaden? Okay, go
Uh,
ahead. You said that's not the person?
what was that? Sorry.
No, I was asking Z. He said that's the only person is Clarice.
Oh my bad. No, I mean like I'm pretty sure I could send a text to Terrell McKinney and get a response at some point. You know what I mean? Let me think. I don't
Okay.
think about this a lot. Yeah, I would say those two would be like the top ones that I could definitely
Those
count on
two.
to get a response from, or at least like be
Okay.
heard. If I had something to say.
Jaden?
Yeah, definitely would say Clarice, Bree Full, who sits on the OPS school
Hmm.
board, Senator McKinney, Senator Spivey, Senator Frederickson, Senator Megan Hunt, Senator Kavanaugh, probably both Senator Kavanaughs as well, most of the Omaha state senators.
Yeah. What about you, Myriyah?
Um, Pretty much the same people as Jaden, minus the white people. Just
Okay.
because
Yeah,
that's just
that's
how
Jaden is in them spaces. He be everywhere. So yeah.
we could have known Tony, but it didn't go the way we thought it was gonna go. But
Yeah.
no, so for me, Clarice for sure. Clarice and Brianna, I feel like are the elected officials who pop in my mind, who make me smile because they're young and vivacious. Not that the other people aren't young, but they're like closer to my age, and so I think that they represent communities so well, and they are really accessible, and I love them. I also feel like I am really accessible to Ashley Spivey, Senator Spivey, and Senator McKinney, both wonderful elected officials. And That's it. I think that's it.
What about you, Miss Atkins?
Definitely the first three that come to my mind are Clarice, Bree, and then Kimra Snipes, who also serves on OPS school board. Um, I think, uh, honestly, I'm gonna be honest. I mean, so it depends on what level we talking about. If it's like a text or a mentorship or whatever, it's different. It's probably those three.
Yo
But I have,
microphone or something. You sound like a transformer right now.
It sounds
It's
like that.
is going. Yeah.
can you
Hold
guys
on.
hear
Maybe
me?
if you pop in and pop out, and then yeah. Go ahead. Try it again. Let's see. Let's talk
Can you
now.
hear me?
Yeah.
Still a little
It's kind of
skippy.
you know.
Ew.
Yeah. Can you
Okay, I'm gonna.
pop
I'm
out the
like
show and come back
Optimus
in? Let's
Prime.
see if that'll work. What about you, Derek? And then we'll get Michaela to answer again.
Yeah, so politicians I have access to. I will say after that mass email, you know what I'm talking about, that mass email I sent off
Yeah.
to all the senators. The ones that responded that seemed pretty cool that I think I could have easy access to would be Marianne, Roger Garcia,
More.
and
Yeah. Yeah.
and and then there's one more. Who was the other one that responded? Oh no, nah, I ain't talking to him.
Not my friend.
Yeah, he responded,
That's
but but yeah, I'm cool on that. Kavanaugh was cool though.
Okay.
But the number one politician that I have access to is Nick Batter. Him and his wife are very nice people. There was a tree that fell down in my yard, took out like a whole pole and everything, and I didn't even know he was a politician. And he came by and he helped me cut this whole tree. I'm like literally a whole tree. And he didn't even tell me he was a politician until he was done, and he bought us pizza and everything. So
Oh. Okay.
yeah,
I
Yeah. Nick
did.
Batter. Well, he was almost a politician, but actually spanked him up like a
yeah,
baby, holding his one hand, spanked him in the circle. You know how you used to get them whooped? That's what happened to Nick Batter.
yep,
So he's a wannabe politician, but he all right. I ain't got no problem with him. They
yeah, he
say he
cool.
went to Benson. That's how he got his black people cred. But Marlon just said something I think is beautiful. He said, I hate how some older people keep treating young millennials and Gen Z as kids. Some of them are scared to pass the torch to the young generation. Man, that's true. And Miss Spencer said, Mr. Perkins, I love to see this. And Miss Spencer is one of the people from LinkedIn. So we might have to get her on here too. So my Nisha, you let me know if you ever want to hop on. We can get you on here too as well. But I think what Marlon said is really it touched home for me, because even when I travel and I meet younger people, it's the same complaint, not even just in Omaha, but those people was from Seattle, Louisiana, in New York, and they had the same exact things. Is that they feel like when they join nonprofits, sometimes they get sunned, or people will take their ideas. Even the guy in Minnesota, like he said, people will take his idea and then use him as, hey, I have this connection to the young people, but then never let him run his idea, or they'll take it and use it to some capacity, but never really let him be the one running the idea. Michaela, you back?
Okay. How about
All
now?
right, let's see. Yeah, you sound beautiful. Beautiful. Your
Okay.
back
So
is
what I
still
was
black.
saying,
Okay, so what's
yeah, those are my three. Clarice, Bree,
what
and
was it?
probably like
Okay.
Cameron Snipes. That's at least that's where I left off on. But then I was saying that, I mean, honestly, I have access to all of them. Like, they're all an email away. They're all a phone call away.
Hmm.
They should be anyway. They should be. So I think it depends on what level, but we all should have some sort of access to our representatives.
Absolutely. I believe that as well. So yeah, I do want to jump into let me just update the people real quick on the Mr. Henry case. So I went to court this morning with the guy who was his cellmate, and he is very excited to get out and tell us what happened. So if for the people who don't know, Edward Henry was a guy who got pulled over in a traffic stop, and the police claimed they had to switch their cuffs. And when they switched their cuffs, they ended up wrestling Mr. Henry down, and Mr. Henry went to jail. And when he got to jail, within 3 to 4 hours of being there, he had a heart attack and he died. There was an inmate in the cell with him who ended up putting in a grievance. And of course, I get information the way I get information. And what I found out was that the inmate was there with Mr. Henry trying to get him some help, bamming on the glass for over 3 hours to get him some help because he was having cardiac arrest. And then the guards and the nurse on the floor that he was on, they never responded to him until after he passed out and died. Okay, that's what happened with Mr. Henry. And so today, the guy who was in the cell with him, he got sentenced, and so he'll be out August 10th. And he said, I can't wait to tell my truth. And so I can't wait to get that man out of there. He's a young Hispanic man. I'm going to take him out to lunch. Any of y'all are welcome to join me when we go so we can get the story firsthand from him and his family and his young daughter and son. They're all anxious to get that information from him. And according to the jail, there should be video footage and audio footage of both of them bamming on that glass trying to get Mr. Henry some help. And so in this town, there has been 4 murders of Black people in this community. And so that's kind of what I want to touch on, because what we've been noticing is there has been this trend of pulling up on young Black people, even if it's late at night or whatever, that these young Black people have been targeted. And so the most recent targeting, we've seen Brother Janidi get murdered for sitting outside in front of his house. And then we had the 4 boys from Coca-Cola who was working the late shift and got off late and was letting one of their friends out, and the police pulled up and thought that they were going to steal a car because they was young Black dudes with dreads just getting out the car, and they turned it into a felony traffic stop for nothing. And none of those boys had a record, never did nothing wrong, and they ended up getting tickets. So we want to address that. But before we do, I do want to get Mynisha Spencer's reply to Brother Marlon. She says, since relocating back to Nebraska in 2022, I feel Nebraska treats millennial, Gen Z, and younger professionals terribly because they represent everything those generations weren't or couldn't do. Woohoo! Smack them. Now, you just gave somebody a whooping with the one arm up. Achieve, become, etc. during their youth, young adult tenure. I agree. My point is the core emotion may be jealousy, envy, or disappointment in themselves even. Less about them thinking that the young folks are kids. Still and all, don't you stop. Press on. Amen. We definitely got to have you on here, Miss Spencer. Linda, do you want to support just the Black community or the larger Omaha community? Right now, we focus on Black, Linda. We focus on the Black. Yeah. We focus on the Black because we Black, and right now, Black is what we are focused on because we Black. Just like Myriyah's hair. See how Black her hair is? That's kind of what we focus on right now. But overall, we don't have an issue with partnering up on some stuff with our brown people in South Omaha, Brother Jonathan and Lucia. Them is some of our people over there that we roll with. But right now it is just right now it's B1 Black first. And so we got so much stuff going on in our community. And it's no shade to you, Miss Jensen. It's just that we have so many Black issues that Blackity Black is the topic. And Joe Bina said, right. My Nisha said, I would love to attend if he's released on 8/10. Are we talking about taking him out to eat on the 11th? Well, I want to get him on the day of, unless he want to go with his family, but I will talk to him and let him know and see what he want to do, because I'm talking to him right now through smart communications. And so if he says he's okay with coming with us on the first day, then yeah, we'll take him out to eat and attend that, and have a little round table with him, make sure he eat good because he's been in jail for a little bit. But he was definitely happy that he seen me in court today. He called me Cardinal. He said, that means brother. So I said, okay, now we brothers, because we definitely want to make sure we support that brother. But I want to know, quickly, do y'all feel scared or any fear of law enforcement in North Omaha, starting with you, Myriyah, when you around and out, or if you out late?
Yes, I do. Before they answer that question, I forgot to mention another elected official who's very accessible, and that's Denixi Gereka. We love him. down. Anyways, but yes, I do feel intimidated. This past election cycle, I was working for the DCCC and Tony Vargas, and like all the biases were showing. I've been pulled over so many times I can count in Omaha, but this last instance was the most
Oh
trifling and
Lord.
the most annoying. I was out knocking doors and I had parked maybe just a little bit too close to a fire hydrant. I wasn't right next to it. I was a good amount away, right? There was no fires happening. Anyway, so I'm out knocking doors, right? It is election day. So I think like people's opinions, people are really heated, right? Like if you, yeah, they probably rode by me in the neighborhood. In fact, I know they did because they rode by me like 3 times while I was out knocking doors and were probably like
Mm.
mad that I was out knocking doors, which they probably could tell by looking at me. I was knocking doors for Tony Vargas and Kamala Harris, okay, not Donald Trump. So they were in their feelings and wanted to make me have a bad day. And so I'm knocking doors, minding my business. They rolled past me 3 times. I'm coming back on my car. And this is nothing but God, y'all. Nothing but God. Because when I tell you I'm walking, turn the block and I see my car, they're towing it as I'm walking towards it. And I'm just like, oh
Oh
my goodness.
Lord.
So I walk up to the police and they immediately so abrasive. Like I am 5'6", 100 something pounds, nothing that two grown men need to be intimidated by. And so I'm walking up, officers with weapons. I'm walking up and they're like, whoa, whoa, ma'am, why are you approaching us? I said, this is my car. And they were like, really? Well, you parked too close to this fire hydrant, so we're having it towed. And I said, no, 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 like please, like I at the time, I didn't even know that you had to park a specific amount away from a fire hydrant, mind you. And they wanted to just drag the issue because they saw me knocking doors for a candidate that they didn't like. And luckily, I was able to pay because they didn't expect me to have money to pay to have my car released right then and there. They were like, well, if you pay $130 right now, then you can not have your car towed. And when I said, okay, I'll
Okay.
pay it, you should have saw their face when I said, okay, I'll pay it. And they just looked at me and were like, oh, okay, so mad. And I was on the phone with my mom. It was a whole thing. But yes, they were very intimidating and they were acting very scared. I could tell they were on edge by my presence and like we're thinking that they were just going to tow my car and make me have a bad day without me even knowing. And yes, they did give me a ticket, but beyond that, I've been pulled over many, many times. I have Colorado license plates still. And so they pull me over quite frequently, actually, and are very rude every time. The only time I have not had a like rude or nerve wracking experience with the police is when I get pulled over by a young Hispanic female officer, and she like instantly calmed the situation down. Didn't give me a ticket. She said, "Oh, you're good to go." But yeah, every other time, very intimidated. They definitely over police. So I live in Benson at the Benson Lights. I'm right across the street from the towers. And there are police there every darn day for who knows what. I'm like, why are the police always driving by the towers, like trying to bother people? So yeah, they over police
Hmm.
down bad.
Over policing is very a very big issue. When I go down 24th Street, that little empty space right there on Spencer and I mean a Spray, they always sitting right there just to see who they can get, and I definitely do not like that. And I believe that um, there are definitely more crimes or just as many crimes happening in West Omaha. It just don't get seen because you're not policing it as much as you policing and riding up and down, Omaha in the black area. So yeah, Michaela, what about you? You have a fear of police, or are you worried that maybe time you might get pulled over, or something crazy might happen, or what's your thoughts on that?
Um, Scared is like I don't know. I don't know if it's a pride thing, but like I ain't gonna let you scare me. I ain't gonna let you punk me just because you some officer.
Hey, hey,
I
never
don't know.
scared.
I don't know.
Hey.
And my daddy just my daddy is so funny. My dad acts like no rules apply to him, and it gets him into trouble sometimes. But like he will approach an officer with a blunt in hand, like what's good, and be cool, and so I adopt that same mentality. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? Now when it comes to me in a space with like my dad or my fiance or my friend like Jaden or Z is different. I'm in a protector mode. So I think that's really where I come from with not being afraid of officers. It's like when it comes to officer interactions and black men, I'm a barrier, because I have the power to de-escalate the situation. I have the power to absorb, whatever is coming that might be directed at this black man. So I feel like that's really where my, you not gonna bully me comes from, because I'm the first line of
Mm-hmm.
defense when it comes to my man. And, my man, he think he the first line of defense, which he is, but whatever, we're gonna let him think that. But, Popo come knocking on the door, I'm gonna get the dough. I'm gonna get the dough. I mean, you get the dough, but I'm gonna get the dough and I'm gonna talk to him, because it's a different level of
Yeah.
protection I have for black men. So I ain't gonna let no officer punk me, but it worries me. It worries me. My dad is a truck driver. It concerns me, him going across the country. He going into different hick towns, different little sundown towns, going all the way down to Texas and back every other day. It concerns me, him being on the road, So I will say I have a
Yeah.
control. I wouldn't say I have a fear, but I definitely have a concern.
Yeah. What about you, Derek? Any concern about the police with you being one of those young brothers out here?
Yeah, as far as, concern with the police, kind of what Michaela said, if we around people like X Watch, like we protectors, right? So I'm worried about the whole group when we are together. So that's a different kind of worry. When it's me by myself, the only time that I would say I'm slightly worried is when I go to the gym, because I go to the gym weird hours. Okay, everybody's asleep when I go to the gym usually. And here in North Omaha, there's plenty of cops that's on the way to the gym. But as I make my way over to my gym's in Bellevue, as I make my way on the Bellevue, I get on the interstate. I know I'm good because the cops ain't gonna be going for me in Bellevue. And if they pull me over in Bellevue, they think that I live in Bellevue, and they ain't gonna really mess with me like that, all that crazy. But the cops here in North Omaha, I actually live 2 minutes away from you in Benson. So I feel you. Like, how many cops are in our neighborhood. Um, but no, I wouldn't say that I'm necessarily scared of them. But I do know that if it came to a physical altercation, that they're not about to fight me, because I take pride in being a big dude, as y'all know. But with being a big dude, ain't nobody gonna want to fight me. Like, they're gonna grab
Yeah.
that gun. They're gonna shoot me. So yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Jaden?
Yeah, I would echo what everyone else has said. I'm not I don't walk around like quote unquote afraid, but I do see a concern and I feel a concern every time I do go out, as someone who has
Mm.
been spied on by the police, who has been yanked out of a car at a protest. Z knows about this one. By police. Definitely concerned about use of force against our people in the community. I think what gives me
Mm.
hope is that we see folks like the Black Agenda Alliance, like what Sherman is doing, like what X Watch is doing. We have to take into consideration to protect ourselves and create these spaces to where we are protected when we do go out, or if something does happen, that we know that people in the community will have our backs by any means necessary.
Ooh, say
Mm.
that again.
So yeah, I definitely share that concern, share that fear as a Black man every single day, having been targeted. Um, yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah. What about you, Z?
So I will also echo kind of what everyone was saying in the sense of like not necessarily a fear, but like just like a baseline anxiety, I would say, for like the potentiality of what interaction could bring about. I've been pulled over plenty of times when I've had a car. I've interacted with police back in 2020 and 2021, like, and I've even had back in 2020, I came home to a drone over my house before. And so like
Mm.
what really what really worries me is the power that the institution has and what they can do and what they can get away
Mm.
with,
Yeah.
and the lack of checks and balances with that institution. And my fear or my anxiety really isn't for myself, because for me personally, when I come into interaction with the officer, I have the knack of just of what I guess code switching and talking in a way that like gets them like to like calm down. I don't know how else to explain it. You know, I have to like not be me in order to, you know, get them off my back or get them to not escalate the situation.
Yeah.
What worries me the most is those that I love and care for. So like my family, my friends. Like I've got a brother, you know, my best friend I call my brother, that has, you know, a daughter, and I worry every day that like something could happen to him while he's out and about, you know, roaming North Omaha, and you know then his daughter could not have a father. So like that's the only anxiety and fear that I have, you know, that hits me every now and then. But I mean, other than that, yeah.
Yeah, it really is. It's crazy because, like you said, the checks and balances. If you think about the last four shootings, so of course Adam Vale killing Cameron, yeah, he got fired, but he didn't get charged, and now he's already working back at the courthouse, right? So we
Right.
still got to see this ugly motherfucker every time we turn around. I haven't ran into him yet, so I don't know how I'm gonna react, but there is people who ran into him and they say stuff to him, so I dislike that. And then just the fact that the dude who killed Steven, he got promoted to a detective and he didn't get charged. And then of course this last dude who killed JD, and he didn't get charged. So there's really no accountability. And I think MII was talking about how many he it's like 60 or something like that, 55 shootings or complaints about the officers doing what they did, and they still didn't get charged. Even when you think about 69 with Vivian, you shot a little 14-year-old girl in the back of the head and you still didn't get charged. So it's just like there's no accountability. And so yeah, I think for as far as like the fear of it, I don't know. I just I should be probably more mindful of it, but like Paul said about the women doing what black women always do and wish they didn't have to. So, like, yeah, my wife always got her gun in her purse. My daughter always got her gun. And then even when I'm not with them, just like yesterday, I went to a courtroom, and we were in there for somebody else's hearing, and there was a white dude in there. He was an attorney, but he was sitting in the crowd, and somebody's phone went off in the courtroom, and he turned around and assuming it's me. So he looked back. Is that your phone? Is that your phone? He talking to Penn. Then he looked at me, and we don't owe you no explanation. Who the fuck is you? Just because you got on a suit, we don't have to explain it. So then the phone buzzed on the seat, and he turned around like, you need to shut your phone off before the judge kick your ass out. And I'm like, I said, shut the fuck up talking to me. So then they like, who's talking back there? I said, oh, it's me, because he over here cussing at a grown man. So then we got ready to leave. I told him, next time you keep your fucking mouth closed, don't talk to me. You just a white boy trying to be a boss or something, but you don't run shit over here. Let the people who work here tell us if our phone is on. Shut your bitch ass up and don't talk to me. I'm a grown ass man, and if you say something to me, it better be with respect. And what happens before we could even get out the courtroom? The sheriffs came. Okay, just because I said that to him, and it was a little loud talking, whatever. But the point is, that dude, you think you can assimilate some kind of authority over me because you got on a suit and you an attorney in the room? Don't cuss at me. I'm a grown man. You could have said anything else, but don't tell me he gonna throw your ass out. I don't know who these people think they dealing with, but we're just not those same old regular people. So I do sometimes have that fear, but then again, like you said, it ain't really a fear. It's just a conscious mind of the police could possibly kill me, based off the things that they've done and get away with it. I would hope the city would burn down if they did that to one of us, but you never know. Right. So I do want to open the floor up for y'all to talk about what it is that you are the most concerned about, or like what you're really into. Before we close it out, I want to make sure that each one of y'all can tell me a topic or a perspective of something that really is a motivation drive for you in your community work. And I want to start with brother Peyton. Let's go back around, starting with you, bro. What's your top thing? She said who he thought he was anyway. Yeah, Joe Biden was there. So yeah, I'm sorry they had to see me get into that form, but yeah, I had to tell that fat fucker something. So, but go ahead, Peyton.
I was gonna say, may somebody else go first? I need a thought process real quick.
You need a thought process. All right, who else
Yeah.
will want to go first? Jaden, you always ready. What you got, Jaden?
Yeah, what's the question again?
What are you into? Like, what is your main driving force behind Jaden Perkins? What do you want to see? What's your thing?
For me, it's about raising the political consciousness through political education so that we can organize, strategize, and take back power in our communities, whether that's through, ballot initiative processes, recall petition processes, just organizing our people to know that we have the power to do this at the local level, at the federal level. But I mean, federal level might be a little harder, but we do have the sincere power to do this at the local level, and we can get it done. We've seen good examples of how this has been done. We've raised our minimum wage in Nebraska. We've expanded Medicaid. We've outlawed predatory payday lending. We got a recall for Sheriff Hansen right now, Sherman. I don't know if you want to talk about that, but very, very pressing issues that we can directly get involved in with, in collaboration with how things are done at the state level as well. And for me, it's really an economic thing. Our community has been economically disinvested in since 1969. And so we gotta bring those dollars and that power back to our communities. And so that's probably my driving force, and making sure folks are educated and organized.
Man, that's crazy. He said since 1969. None of us was even born then. We was all just a little sperm in the balls. Like,
Bruh.
we wasn't born yet. Just so y'all know, my show is not edited. We don't have edits on this show. Okay. Miss Linda did say something I wanted to talk about. She said, I think it's wild that child care providers are held to a higher standard of accountability than the people who took an oath to protect and serve. That's true. Like, if a child died while on my watch or even later after being in my care, you can bet your ass I'd be in jail, and rightfully so. It's disgusting that they have no repercussions or accountability or even oversight. Like, who polices the police? Nobody. Because guess what? When we had a black police chief, our auditor was fired for giving him a report to say that, hey, y'all pulling over black people and treating them fucked up way more than you are anybody else. And she was fired. And then the position was disintegrated. And yeah, sleepy-eyed Tommy Warren. I still talk to you, brother. I got still love for you. Your eyes sleepy, but you still fired the police oversight when we needed it, bro. You that was your chance to do your thing. Paul said, have any of you had the conversation with our new mayor? Anything in the works? That's a good question, Paul. Anybody?
Michaela, do we want to talk about
Michaela.
what we did, what we're planning after the
Do
Civic
you
Youth
want
event?
to, or you want me to, or do you want to?
I mean, since I started talking about it, I guess I'll go.
Oh, okay, yes, I love it. Go ahead. And
So,
after you say that, I also want to. Clarice told me to send this in our little chat that we have, but I don't know. The Nebraska Crime Commission just released the amount of stopped individuals by race. I can't get the words, but I'm gonna drop it so everybody can see it.
perfect.
Okay,
So,
cool.
in
Speaking of
regards
crime
to,
commission, we did. Oh, just briefly, speaking of the crime commission, briefly, we did get the $130,000 that was awarded to the sheriff's office. They didn't get it. Nope, it was denied. Smack. Get out of here. No, we wasn't getting no extra person on your stupid little extra patrol. So yeah, that's out of here. But go ahead and pay. Do your thing, bro.
yeah, so back in, what was it, April, Michaela? Yeah, back in April, Youth Elect and I worked together to bring a youth civic dinner together with then mayoral candidate John Ewing. And so that went very well. And I talked to him afterwards about because we were all floating the idea. So I engaged the conversation of having a town hall, like a youth centered town hall after he was elected. Because we were like, he's gonna get elected after he got elected, and so that is definitely something that has been on my radar. Recently, just like wanting to like pick that back up and like not pick it back up, but just like get the ball rolling on that and see like when his availability is and whatnot. So definitely want to work with you soon, Michaela, and our best friend Marissa. So
Cool.
I'm definitely excited about that, just to see what we can do with that town hall idea.
Wow. Yeah. And Joe Biden says she don't got no love for Tommy Warren and his sleepy eye. She said he don't deserve the position he in. Maybe he just can't see the position he in. I don't know. Uh, and Linda said, "Oh, well, they can sell that armored truck if they need money that bad." Okay. All right. Michaela, what is something that you're interested in? Your driving force behind Michaela.
So, so yes, I'm a second. What Z said, we had a really great dinner. Brought young people just about from every district to have a discussion with Mayor Ewing. So yeah, hoping to pick that up. We also had a discussion on I don't know, reinvigorating and bringing back the youth advisory council at the city
Mm.
level in the mayor's office, but doing it in a way so that young people actually have decision making power and can see their voices reflected in different decisions and policies that are being made. So all that's in the works, trying to get it in the works, trying to keep our relationship with the mayor's office. Things definitely get busy and get, hectic once you're in there. But just trying to maintain that relationship for sure. So keep an eye out for that. I think my biggest driving force since before I was a formal quote unquote organizer or whatever was always bringing people with me, no matter what it was. If it was an opportunity that I couldn't do, I'm gonna pass it to somebody. If there's a room that I'm in, I'm gonna bring somebody with me. I'm gonna speak their name. Like that's why I think that cultivating a community centered around care and that ecosystem of support is so important to me. Um, because you need that literally to like elevate. That's why we're being met with different barriers as young people trying to get into these spaces. So for me, it's always going to be bringing people with me and then getting them to see the power that's already within themselves. Not so much teaching power, but more so activating it. You already have it. I know you have it. I believe in you, but I need you to believe in you. And knowing that you can do it at no matter what level you are. So grassroots, organizing. So those are kind of like my three pillars.
Okay. All right, Myriyah. What's driving Myriyah Johnson from Pueblo with the Colorado plates?
For me, I will say like recently I've come into a lot of education about Black feminism, and just that as a framework, which Black feminism gets us free. Okay, so my driving force is getting us free. Like I don't know if you guys took the little Gallup, what are they called? Your Gallup.
Your strength, Gallup strengths, your like five strengths.
One of my
Gallup
top
poll.
goals is
Yeah.
futuristic. Okay, so I'm constantly thinking about the future, and that's what really drives me forward. But lately, what's been preventing me from being burnt out in this movement, is mentorship, and being a mentor and keeping young people, especially young Black girls, around me that I can give them the information that I didn't have earlier. Like I have an intern right now, and we talk about Black feminisms all day. And I love introducing her to concepts that she didn't really understand, like what is reproductive justice. So that way she could be like at least free in her mind. Like we might not be free in this society, but my thing is helping people get free in their mind. And I think once a lot of people are free in their mind, we can change a lot more because they'll see the importance of taking part in local elections and going to city council meetings. Like that's my biggest driving force is like, how can I talk about politics and talk about local stuff happening to the people around me who aren't into it enough to where they want to go do something about it. And I think like as a community, we need to like market movements better and like reframe how people think about activism and make it something that doesn't seem like very intimidating to do or doesn't seem fringe to do. I feel like even amongst young Black people, being an activist is like fringe. Like people look at you weird if you are really passionate about activism and passionate about the Black community, and they like aren't into it. And I'm like, how can we change that? So that's what I'm always thinking about. I'm always in rooms where nobody wants to
That's
talk about
good.
politics and stuff like that. I'm going to talk about it. I'm always going to talk about Black feminism. And so I think if we just all talk more, things might start to shift.
Yeah. Brother Daric, what's your driving force? What's behind Daric? What's your most important issues you think that you got going on?
So many drive. When you say driving force now, the driving force
Yeah.
is
Like,
it's
what's your thing that you know, like she said, feminism and the stuff like that. Like, what makes Daric really, stay focused and what you really focused on while you out here in the community?
yeah. So as far as like what helps me stay focused, I'm gonna say again, Garveyism. Like that
Mm,
still blows my mind because I didn't know about Garveyism until recently, So I've been teaching myself a lot lately, and all the stuff
oh
I've been listening to Brother Jahi talking about, and then y'all hang around Jahi, you gonna learn something. um, but when the work gets tiring sometimes, and it's hard to stay, I guess, motivated or disciplined in this, what continues to drive me is my kids, because like what happened to Janiti, like that's like
yeah,
that was just insane to me. Like my son's only a couple years younger than Janiti, so like to think like what we're doing right now, you think about your own kid. So these streets out here that my kids walking in, like I need to make sure that street's safe, because one of these punks might come up to them, and those punks need to go somewhere else, back to the Caucasus. I'm gonna say it. Get mad at me. Um, but yeah, so that those are some of my main driving forces. And just to know, how much power is actually in us, how I wouldn't say easy, but how attainable it is to do something at very different kinds of levels, whether that's social media, whether that's a sit down inside of a boardroom or a
mhm,
legislative chambers, whether that's out in the streets protesting, whether that's popping up at the police station or at the courthouse saying "sup killer," stuff like that.
yeah,
There's shout out MIA. Uh, but yeah, there's so many different things, and I mean, ultimately, the energy that y'all have. Oh,
yeah.
who we're here.
Brother Z, we back to you. What's the driving force behind Z?
So for me, I I'm a people person. I love people. I love my
Okay.
people. I love all people. And all I want to see is a better world for everybody. A better city, a better state, better country, better world. And that starts with where we're at now. And for me, my focus or my driving force is wanting to build the people's political power through collective leadership. The way that, we've been governed, the way we budget, the way we make policies nowadays are made without, actual people in mind, on every level, local, state, federal. And what really, how do I say this? What really just like gets me going and like keeps me going is that like, that is everybody here right now, is the fact that I'm not alone. That basically everybody has like mentioned that like, it's like what I just said, collective leadership. Like we have to work together in order to change what we don't like, and that starts with working with each other and building our networks and empowering each other to to embrace our individual power, because when we embrace our individual power and bring it into the collective, we're unstoppable. And so
Absolutely.
for me, collective leadership is all about bringing the people, everyday people, into the fold when it comes to governance, like, and like down to like the neighborhood, you know what I mean, down to the household if need
Mhm.
be, and so um, yeah, and just making sure that like the actual lived experiences of people are being heard. Like I said earlier, like I have lived in poverty most of my adult life, and it's been extremely difficult. And so like I know what it is like for the average person here in this city, especially in our community, to have to survive every single day, and it's distracting and it's stressful, And so like I'm not as involved as I want to be, but I want to be involved, And so I just know that when people's needs are met, they're able to do what they want to do, And so I want that not just for myself, but for everybody. And the only way we're going to get there is if we start working together to change the way that our government and politicians, behave. And that's my driving force, is wanting to change the system in like outright. You know what I mean? Like everything that all the systems that we have right now need to be flipped on their heads and rebuilt. You know, like
Yeah.
I call me radical, whatever. But like, I believe we need to dismantle everything and rebuild it, and that's gonna take time, but that's what keeps me going every single day to keep doing what I do and what we all do.
Yes, sir. And I definitely agree with that. I would say that my driving force definitely is the purpose. Once you discover your purpose and who you are and what you're here to do, then that's what keeps you going. And I know that my purpose, 100% something that I didn't practice, that it just came natural, which was the ability to gather people, to gather the spirits, and to once you I know that I'm a gatherer, then I can help empower the people that I do gather. And so that's why I love y'all. I was glad to be invited into y'all space that y'all have, and I'm very protective over y'all. And so it's like being a gatherer and then helping people see their purpose. That's what it is for me. That's what motivates me. And so that's why on our 20 weeks we highlight other people, because it's not just about us, it's about highlighting the other people in the community, and that way other people can see them and see their drive and this stuff that they got going on, because we all have an important role. And I look at the community as a machine, and the machine that has a bunch of parts, and so all of us have a part to play in this community. Is just knowing what part you play. Now, one thing I'm not going to do is work with people who are pretending to be a part of the machine, but really you in there to throw wrenches and sabotage shit. So, and once I notice that's what you're about, then just like XYQ X'd out, I'm not, I don't have to respect you or respect nothing you're doing, because you're not respecting the machine that's working towards the betterment of our community. Once I noticed that, you asked out with me. So, and like you said, people don't like it. Call you radical. I done been called every name. I really don't care. I'm not here to please people. We here to change the world. We are here to help humankind, mankind, whatever you want to call it. And so I know that we can't sit and think about what somebody think about us, because most people don't even think about their damn self. They don't even think about that little crust in their teeth when they get up in the morning. And so I don't care. And that little white stuff that be in the corner of their mouth when they talking. So yeah, don't talk to me about nothing if you ain't focused on that stuff. So we got some questions before we roll. I do want to get to these questions and just answer them very quickly as you can. And we're gonna start with Brother Paul. He said, does anyone have an idea about who should be the next governor? Z.
That didn't the comedic timing didn't work for that one. Then I said me, but
Oh, you okay. What
I'm not
about
old
you,
enough yet, but one
Jaden? Who
day.
should be the next governor? Yeah, you old enough, I think. Jaden, who should be the next
Um,
governor?
that's a good question. I don't know.
Definitely
Somebody who's
Martin.
experienced and won't look out for corporations and big businesses like our current governor has.
Absolutely. Michaela?
I don't know of a specific person per se, but I would second somebody who I think somebody who is willing to hear from the public, and take community input.
Okay. Daric, what about you?
He gonna
Who
disagree
should be
with
the next
this.
governor?
He gonna disagree with this, but I'm gonna say Kasim, because he'll get that shit done in a day. They all put on notice.
He was the next governor. Yeah. Yeah, we'll all have 50,000 rounds of ammo at our house. That's what happened with him. What about you, Myriyah? Who you think should be the next governor?
I would say if I could like pick a dream election for the governor, it would be three people. And I know that they would be tearing Nebraska up from the root and flipping it over, replanting us, right? And I would love that. It would be Terrell McKinney, Ashley
Mm.
Spivey, or Anthony Rogers Wright, because his ideas about how to change cities and change society are too good. And so yeah, I don't know. If I could handpick somebody, it would be one of those three people.
There you go. Matter of fact, and the next question is from Anthony Rogers Wright. Did anyone ask the mayor if he's open to allowing 16-year-olds to vote in the municipal elections? School board. Anybody ask him?
No, but that would be a great question
No,
to have
nobody.
for our town hall.
That is a very great question.
I
Yeah,
wrote it down.
yeah. See, I'm
Keep on
sure
our
you
radar.
about them good questions. Yeah. Good, good. And also from Anthony, he said, Did anyone? Oh, also, what's your thoughts on 4 Democrats who have declared their congressional run? Quickly, what's your thoughts, Peyton? What's your thought? Any thought?
Um, to be frank, I'm not excited. Um,
Okay, Frank.
I'm really not. Like we've got some decent people running, but I'm not excited for the energy and the policies and the politics that I'm looking for. I'm looking for a strong, outspoken progressive at the very least. I'm a
Yeah,
leftist. I'm a leftist at heart, so I'm gonna say I want more, but it's Nebraska, so what can we really ask for?
Jaden.
I've worked this race before, so I'll just say this because I went off on a rant about this last week when they passed the big ugly bill. Any Democrat
Yeah,
who's not running on universal health care, reparations, anti-black, anti-hate crime bill that serves our people, and any policy that serves that will benefit poor and working class people will not have my support. We can't see sitting here talking about protecting democracy and so on and so forth in such vague terms when literally everything's being ripped apart. You're not going to excite people by talking in vague terms like that. So that's
at,
kind of thoughts on that.
Exactly that.
at oh yeah, Myriyah. What about you? What's your thoughts on the 4 Democrats who have declared their congressional run?
I'll just echo that I'm also not very excited. And I think like as the Democratic Party has it in their mind now, like a lot of people in the Democratic Party are like, okay, we need to push like more centrist people, more moderate Democrats now, to like, win. And I don't think that's the case at all. I think if you want to win, you actually have to go further left. So I think like I'm not excited. I wish we had more progressive candidates. I wish we had more colorful candidates. That's my
Young
thing.
candidates.
Mm,
Young candidates. Oh, like imagine it. Like I feel like somebody black would win like immediately. I really, really do.
yeah,
I think like Anthony, I see your comment of like how can we replicate that energy with Zoran Mamdani that just got elected in Omaha. I'm like, think about it. He's a diverse person from a diverse community. I'm like, we need a diverse person from a diverse community here to like run and like recreate that energy. So
yeah, yeah. I think the only way we're gonna get some more colored people or colors or diversity if we put some of them white people in the refrigerator, they'll get blue. They'll turn cold. Lips will turn cold at least. What about you, brother? What's your thoughts on these 4 Democrats?
Man, dude forgot my name. No, yeah. So the 4 Democrats, it's it's one of those things where it's like you see the people that's running, you see somebody. I actually talked to Clarice about this a little bit, where you're like, okay, this person seems maybe all right, but then like this is my issue with them, and the big issue is that they market themselves in a way that make it seem like they're looking after the poor and middle class, um, when really they're looking out for the poor white people. And I mean, that's
Mm,
who they're looking out for. They ain't really looking out for us. And they market it that way without saying it. So then they can try to get every white vote, and then they don't really care about our vote, really. But they're hoping to get a couple of us by marketing it as middle class and poor class. So they're very vague in the terminology, and you got to really go to their website and really look at their initiatives to understand how corrupt their brain is.
right, Michaela. What about you? Who's your? I mean, like, what's your thoughts on these 4 people?
I don't know. I don't have a whole lot of an opinion. I always am just eager to see the strategy.
Yeah.
Especially for me, like when there are multiple people of the same party or just multiple people running for the same position. I think it splits the vote and it divides people. We've already seen like a divide happening between like some of the male versus female candidates. So I don't know. I'm always interested to see what the full on strategy is from the Democratic Party in general. But um, yeah, it'll be interesting. I want to know what the exactly the strategy is and how it makes sense to them, and I want to know.
Yeah, I think you're right because we kind of seen that during city council, and we definitely don't want to have that Maurice Jones effect where you just pop up, start going to all the meetings and showing up and being around and acting like you for the people, and then you disappear as soon as it's all over because you never was really for the people anyway. And I told him I was gonna drag him through the mud because he. So, but that's now I'm terming that the Maurice Jones effect. When we see people coming to city council, all of a sudden you want to come to the empowerment network meetings. You come into all the trade shows and vendor events, and you was from North Omaha and all that, and then you disappear. If you really care about North Omaha, stick with it. Stick with us. Come through. We want to see you still, even after you a loser and you lose. You still should, if you care that much, like you campaigned on, you would still be around. Like Brother Anthony and some of these other people who still, even though they lost, they still in the community. So yeah. So we don't want no Maurice Jones effect. And what was that other lady? Tracy Hightower. She was passing out them stupid her flyers with black faces, and I helped this black person and I did this. Yeah, get out of here. Where you at now? She was showing up the empowerment networks and all that. Tracy Hightower, no, you're out of here. You lost. Okay. We don't want you in our spaces. All right. So Paul said, beyond politics and politicians, what's the most important thing that we need to change? And what else does the black community need to do quickly? Mariah.
I guess this echoes what I said earlier about like my driving force of like what keeps me going
Mm-hmm.
is planting seeds in people's mind. I feel like black people, we need to become like mentally free and let go of like all of the horrible things that systems have chained on our mind, like patriarchy, like misogyny, like internalized racism. I feel like that's my biggest thing is like we need to heal as a community and get our minds right. A lot of these like every day like I see a lot of like young black men especially engage in misogyny to like very scary degrees, and it's not
Mm-hmm.
okay. And then I just think for me that's my biggest thing is like people um like getting their minds free and then getting involved. I feel like we're on the precipice of change, right? We're on the precipice of a larger national movement of like black people. We're on the precipice of a large movement here in Omaha. Like there's a lot happening that should justify a large movement, but it's not like there isn't one. So like I think people just like being burnt out is a thing. So I think just making sure that we're pouring into each other, having conversations.
Yeah. Jaden, what about you on that? A quick answer for that question he got, Paul.
Yeah, definitely. Beyond the ballot box, we need to be investing with each other in that aspect of community care, not just self care. Also, showing up for each other by any means necessary, supporting each other at different events we're doing or different rallies, town halls, whatever it might be doing. Building sound and solid mutual aid networks as well, so we can keep folks that are unhoused and unfed, at least reducing the harm in that area, and
Mm-hmm.
just creating safe third eco spaces so that we can continue to thrive as well beyond all the outside noise that politics and the pressures of the world brings us, kind of echoing what Myriyah was just saying about mentally freeing our minds.
Right. What about you, Derek?
We need to stop politicking with these killers and these Satanists, and we need to come out to the field. And I'm sorry, I'm gonna take this moment to say this because I'm tired of people getting at your neck, you know. But we need to get rid of this house Negro mentality, and we need to understand that together we can make a change. But it's not going to be from taking funding from these racist police officers and sitting there shaking hands with killers, having conversations. I'm sorry, there ain't nothing to talk about. We need to make those demands. We need to make those demands together by any means necessary, like Jaden said. So I mean, you
Right.
know,
Christian
that's
asked you a question. She said, "What was that guardianism?"
Homeboy told her. I think
Oh,
Anthony Rogers right told her, but
Garvey.
yeah,
Yeah.
Marcus Garvey, Garveyism. Make sure you Google Marcus Garvey specifically, and if you really want to brush up on Black excellence, look up ancient Kemet, and you'll see all sorts of things. There's a book actually that shows proof of all of our history that's been essentially pimped by Europeans. Man, you know the name of the book, probably Sherman. Jahi told me about it. It's in my notes. But it's I'll comment it below. Okay, I'll comment it. So
Okay. Linda says she loved what Z was saying earlier. I guess I didn't see that part. Um, let's see. I appreciate you all sharing so much with us, especially for allowing me to listen in on this platform this evening. Remarkable minds. Yeah, definitely appreciate you. But they would let Mushmouth from Fat Albert be the governor before they let me in the mansion. That's true. We know that, bro. But it's still a good idea. Mushmouth from Fat Albert.
Well, we got
Okay.
Bushmouth in the governor's mansion right now, so
No, literally.
We do. Marlboro, that red drunk. He looked like he just hopped off a horse with a Marlboro. I can't stand that
No,
dude,
we got
especially right
Walmart
after
Jeff
the mayor.
Bezos. We got Walmart Jeff Bezos.
I mean, there's a reason why that horse kicked him off the. There's a reason why that horse kicked him off. So horses don't put
Yeah,
up with much
man.
mouth.
Yeah, so we don't like that mush mouth governor. Yeah, Michaela, what's your what was the question? Oh, he was who was that? Paul? Oh yeah, he said beyond politics, what's the most important thing you think we need to change?
I think two things. I think education, starting it young, starting it in the home. I think that's what kind of leads to that liberated mind that we're all kind of talking about. Um, and then, dang, what was my second one? I cannot remember. Y'all got me distracted by talking about mushmouth. But it starts in the home. It starts in the home. Into I don't know. I don't remember what my second one was. I had another one, but starting at home, education. Education's gonna be the biggest one. Because you can't have that
Yeah.
taken from you, and you can carry that with you.
Anthony said, "Don't get caught in the land war in Asia, and never, ever, ever piss off Big Sherman." That's funny. Yeah, shut the fuck up. But yeah, final budget meeting the 29th. Yeah, okay. Jones blocked me. Oh, he blocked you, Heather. Oh man. Well, you ain't missing nothing. Yeah, an unbaked cookie. That's all. Yeah, that's all you missing. Joe Bina. Y'all know how that cookie don't be looking, and you pull it out too early and it ain't done. It's just still mushed up, still yellow and stuff. Me too for calling him Martin Luther Cream and Talcum X. Oh, y'all being messy tonight. Y'all. Anthony, dude, you funny, man. He said, good one, good one, good one. Oh, I love y'all. Yeah,
Oh,
we coming with it. Kiwi, Kiwi Africa Tafari. Look at her hair. Was she beautiful? Okay, I see you, Kiwi. Later for the Black Miss Leadership class. Yep. Shay said, preach. Oh, y'all been commenting. I ain't even see it. Joe Bina gave us 100. No, I looked it up. Okay, cool. She said now she informed. All right, yeah. It ain't guardianism, but you got it. Now, why are you commenting in the comments?
I said I was going to comment.
It's all good. I just wasn't keeping up. I guess I didn't see him. The virtual space was so important for me being in Chicago right now. Keep it up. Love you all back. Oh, I don't even know you, and I love you. She said, he said Sherman would be my chief of staff. Oh man, Anthony, we wouldn't get nothing done. Two short niggas, man, we would be in trouble, bro. Because I'd be all over them motherfuckers. Everybody would be told shut the fuck up at this point. Now really, yeah. If I see one more comment from you, because if Big Sherm rise up, it's gonna be problems. Yeah. Tanny got to see me in action the other day with that dude trying to tell us what to say. Not an unbaked cookie. Yeah, unbaked sugar cookie, like Joe Bina said. Yeah, Maurice, you shouldn't have started it, bro. He started it with that stuff talking about I'm irrelevant and he don't like the fact that I think everything got to run through me in North Omaha. I never said that. You just mad because I wouldn't talk to you because you wanted me to be one of your people that you can pay to be a endorsement. I don't do paid endorsements, yellow dude. So yeah, it was never gonna happen with me. You know, it just wasn't gonna happen with me, bro. And I'm not on no colorism stuff, so don't get mad at me. I'm just saying it wasn't gonna happen, bro. I mean, I'm just not one of them dudes. I ain't for sale, and I could see through your fakeness and snakeness from the beginning, and that's what happened. Oh yeah. Anybody else got anything else to say before we get out of here? Because I think the longer we stay on here, we might get in trouble. Uh, yeah, we
Yo,
might. There's no filter on this show. We don't have the no cuss word policy and all that stuff. We don't do all that. You can talk and say and do whatever you want because it's our show. We don't care. We don't give. It's our shit. Okay. So yeah. Any final thoughts? Let's do some final thoughts from each person. Shay said, "Yeah, we not for sale. We show ain't for sale. You can't buy me. That's why I don't work for no nonprofits. I don't have no real associates like that, you know. And anybody who ever try to play with the people in North Omaha, and especially these people right here that you see on this screen with me, I'm coming to your office. I ain't gonna talk about you. It ain't gonna be no rumors. Nope. I'm coming to your office with my short bald head, and I'll be there with my big voice, and y'all gonna be like, "Shut up!" You know, nope, shut the fuck up. That's just what's gonna happen. Yeah, and have a little roast. Oh yeah, yeah. We roast people over here. So we don't play them games. But let's start with one of the ladies, Myriyah. I'm gonna put you full screen. Give your final thoughts, Myriyah.
My final thoughts are always try to free your mind. I know I've said that so many times, but challenge everything you think, challenge everything people tell you. Always try to seek new knowledge, seek new people. I think like for all those listening, you're already people who probably, are always seeking new knowledge and different voices. But when you can, just always do research on different things so that you can stay educated. And beyond that, just stay Black, stay proud.
Woo! Stay black, stay proud. Yeah, we gotta stay black and stay proud. Linda said you need to raise your sign so the world can see it. Yeah. Yeah, I got some t-shirts that say shut the fuck up. So, if you ever want one, Miss Jensen, just let me know and I'll shoot you one, and then you can go to the meeting and have your shirt on and don't have to say nothing. Most people that bought them, they just said they bought them so when people say something to them, they can just point at themselves, So, Paul said this is a great panel. Y'all are so dope, man. I told y'all. That's why I got them all on here because I already know they dope. I just wanted y'all to see it. That we dealing with some dope people right now, and there's a new North Omaha that you dealing with. And so while other people turn the other cheek, are we kicking you in your cheeks? That's what's gonna happen around here. We ain't playing no more games. We done with that. I wish y'all heard the cackles I'm letting out right now. Oh my god, yeah. Cause we ain't fucking around. We done with that old house shit. Like Daric said, we done with coon house niggas. Y'all can stay in the house with Massa while we outside planning on how to come in there and kill Massas. No, we ain't gonna kill nobody. But I'm saying I mean, literally would have shot most of these niggas in the back of the head. Let's be for real. Because as soon as she said let's run, they'd be like, but why? Massa, he feed us good. Massa's a good Massa. Why run? No, we running. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah. Look, she said, "Yep, yeah, we ain't playing them games." Daric, what is your final thoughts, brother? Let's get you full screen and go.
We touched on a lot of stuff, so I'm just gonna say I'm gonna retouch on that last part that you was just speaking on, and I'm just gonna
Yes, sir.
say if you feel like you are you feel angry when you hear the word house negro or house nigga, because that's what they call it, house nigga. And as Malcolm said, we still got a couple house niggas today. But no, if that angers you, I want you to listen to what Brother Malcolm actually said about that. And you preach about Malcolm X, you preach about Martin Luther King, you preach about all these people, but then when it comes to doing the things that they did or people wanting to do those things, you get all upset. You want suppression. You want to endorse these suppression units even. So you need to get some medicine to your mind and come out in the field. That's all I'm gonna say.
Woo! That's what I'm talking about. And Tanny said we Malcolm X riders. That's right. And look at Anthony still at it. Talking about we sick, massa. Yeah, that's just how
we
people
sick.
be. We sick, massa. Yeah, but we gonna get it together because, like I said, we done with the bull. And maybe since we got this new mayor, and even though he didn't change the mayor's office, people, staff, and stuff like that, maybe if we got a toothpick and broke it in half and put it on both corners of what's his name's eyes, Tommy Warren, he could see better and do a little bit of better job in there in his position. If we broke that toothpick in half and stuck it on both sides, it'll open that little eye up and maybe he can actually see what he need to be doing in there. All right. All right, so we're gonna go to Michaela. Solo layout, Michaela. Michaela, what's your final words?
You know, find a way to get involved. Y'all have now, been on this live. You've seen all of us. You know that Sherman has access to us, which means you have access to us. So find a way to get involved, whether it's through us, whether it's through something you see in the community, whether it's volunteering at a community garden. Do something that makes you feel good, and feels like you're giving back to the community and leaving the world in a better place than where you received it. And then heavy on stay black, stay proud, because it's blackity black around here. And that's it.
Blackity black, 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 black. Tanny says stop it. Okay, I'm gonna stop. Tommy, he cool. He all right. I'll still go visit him and stuff. Well, he said whatever Sherman had for breakfast is what we should be serving at the free breakfast program. I don't even eat breakfast, bro. I just get up and drink water, and then I have one meal at the end of the night. But yeah, bro. I mean, when it's my show and I can talk how I want and do what I want, this is what you're gonna get. I have a lot of comedy in my bones, but I'm serious about this work and I'm serious about these people you see on this panel. So just know if you ever cross them or say anything wrong to them or anything, they might not say nothing back to you, but I'm coming. Okay. All right, brother Jaden, what you got, bro? Final words.
I would say always continue to find ways to raise your political consciousness, whether that's by joining a group that studies, literature or books that talk about Black liberation, or just listening to music, exploring creativity when it comes to Black liberation, and always continuing to find ways to organize, find ways to get involved, and ensure the prosperity of your community by any means necessary.
Woo. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. My daughter right here, she said, very strong minded people on this panel. I love this.
Hey,
Yeah, we'll have to get you on here too, Miss Spencer. Yeah, yeah. Brother Zyla, what you got for some final words, brother?
I'm gonna keep it short and simple. I'm gonna share a phrase that I made back in 2019 that I live to this day. It is live free, love deep, work hard, embrace your passion, and conquer the dream. That's all.
Woo, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, I appreciate that. And Heather says she liked your glasses, Jaden. So
Thank
yeah,
you.
I'll be dropping a video here too. Right after I get off with them, I actually just finished downloading it yesterday. I went to Coons Park. So yeah, I don't know if y'all know there was a video in 2022 that they did on the news. Oh, we got $250,000 for renovation for Coon Park. And so I went over there yesterday to check on the renovation. So I'm gonna show y'all the video, all the renovations that were done. We get the niggas a playground. Niggas, here you go, niggas go play. And if you want grassy ass, go to Coons Park because all the tables had grass on the seats. So yeah, you'll need a lawnmower to get that much grass off your butt. That's how much it was over there. It's terrible. We supposed to have picnics and go sit over there at all. No, it's not working. It's not gonna work. We need to focus on having it was kids there, but it was so terrible. I felt bad for the kids over there playing with the bottles, the sand with grass and sticks and weeds and all kind of craziness. It was terrible. So I'm gonna
Well,
drop
and
the video. I'm not gonna be doing too much talking.
all
Right.
that money they just got, we just passed in bonds, and the money that the city gives Parks and Rec, you think they would do better.
Yeah, you would think, but no, yeah, it hasn't happened. So yeah, and that video is going to reflect that. She said, I had the pleasure of working with the majority of this panel. I'm also excited about the work and sharing the responsibility to do the work. Passing the torch while in motion is the key. That is very, very true. Got to pass the torch while you're in motion. And Heather said she remembered that. So yeah, we're going to pop out. It's 8:43. We've been on here for an hour and 43 minutes, but it's been fun, funny, serious, real. We got out a lot of points, and I definitely appreciate y'all joining me today on this episode of Sermons with Sherman. And we're gonna have to do it again. Have my Nisha get in here, and yeah, have my daughter jump on in here. Yeah. So yeah, I appreciate y'all staying active in the community, not falling for the Maurice Jones effect. acting serious around politician time and political times, and then falling off. We don't never hear from you like that nigga got on a ship and went to space. So we're not doing that. We're gonna stay 100% committed. And even for Myriyah, you're not even from here, and look at you. That's what I'm talking about. It's the dedication and passion for your people and the work, and we love you for that. Okay, we love all y'all. Everybody, thanks for even tuning in, all the comments, and I'm sure we hit probably 100 and something comments. Oh, she said because for $250,000, this should be a whole water park. Yeah, whole waste park, water park. Yeah, I think she meant water park down there, but it ain't. The water part is not even on. Okay. So yeah, I might commentate the video because it might need a little excitement in there. But yeah, I got the video footage. It's terrible. It was terrible. She said I want to see the receipts because when we get grant funding, they have to keep them in case of an audit. Yeah, yeah. Paul gave everybody a fist, Black Power fist, 100%, brother Paul. And yeah, we out of here. Piece of hair grease.
Thank
Y'all
you,
stick around
Sherman.
briefly after
Thanks
the
for
show
having
ends.
us.
Thank you
Y'all
so
stick.
much.
Oh yeah, thank all of y'all for commenting and stuff. Y'all stick around. We're gonna end this, and then we'll see these real numbers. That's the real service, Myriyah Johnson. Yes. Yeah. Oh man, they give me. Hold on, we gotta hold it out for a
Oh,
second just so
y'all,
they can give y'all all the
stop.
love. They sending love. Oh no, they giving y'all the love. Myriyah is a razor sharp. We're gonna be working for her. Oh, for and with her someday. Oh, Jobina said thank y'all. Yeah, come on, pour it on for these
You
young
guys are
people,
so
for these
sweet.
people.
Stop.
Period.
Don't make me
Because
cry, y'all.
they uh yeah, we want to see you cry. Go ahead and cry. Cry. No. But no, yeah, we really appreciate y'all, everybody. And all the people. And yeah, you'll see more of them actively in the community. And yeah, Miss Johnson, come on. Yep. We'll see more of y'all, more of them active in the community. And like she said, I have access to them. Y'all have access to them. We all working towards the betterment of North Omaha. And I don't care who you are. If you are against the betterment of North Omaha, then we have a problem. From these fake ass gang people that want to shoot in the middle of crowds and hit young kids and girls, to these phony ass politicians and these racist people who've been suppressing North Omaha for years, for decades. We're done with that. Okay? And if you don't know, now you know. We coming for you if you are against the uprising of the black community, the black people, not just in Omaha. We focus all around the world, like Anthony told me earlier. We have to stay focused on what's going on around the world, but at the same time, we gonna start with Omaha and make it a model. He said First Sky Omaha in the morning is back on Monday. Can't wait to talk to all of y'all some more. Yes, sir, 100%. And don't forget this Sunday, we got Kenny Newman for week 7 at the 20 weeks of community engagement. That's right, we highlighting brother Kenny, who is a mentor in North Omaha. He worked at the youth center. He's been teaching these young boys how to do basic mechanics. And so we'll be down there this Sunday from 4 to 7 at Assembly of the Saints, 4224 North 24th Street, where the Saints assemble. Okay. And we got some, I think it's beef enchiladas and some rice from Jacobos. Yeah. We went south to grab some food this time. So yeah. We love y'all. Y'all hang around. And yeah, Melanin Market this Saturday. Okay, my Nisha. Melanin Market. Let's get it. All right. For real, we out of here now. For real. Peace, y'all. Love y'all.